Rejection. I think it's one of the hardest things that we as human beings have to endure. So let's get into it. You know, this is probably one of the toughest subjects that I like to talk about, and that's rejection. Rejection, it can do a lot of harm, right? And we've seen that, especially when it comes to like dating apps, when it comes to people of color, when it comes to like Black women, when it comes to people of a certain age. I mean, there's a lot of rejection that happens these days, right? And I do think a lot of it has to do with the dating apps and the fact that there's so many millions of people on these apps and people think that they can just say anything and do anything. But the thing that I always think about, right? And I'm not perfect and nobody else is either, but the thing that I always want to say when it comes to rejection is that, you know, put yourself, you know, in the other person's shoes. You know, would you treat your best friends that way? Would you treat your family that way? So why are you treating people in a way that is just easy to throw them away and to reject them and not even think anything about it? And ghosting, you know, let's talk about ghosting for a second. Is like one of the worst forms of rejection, and it doesn't matter if it's online or if it's in person. You know, unless somebody's like being mean and nasty to you or whatever, you know, be kind and say, you know, this is not working for me. I'm okay with that, right? If you just, you know, you don't have to be so harsh with people and you don't have to be so direct, right? And so you don't have to like block people unless they're doing something really wrong, because rejection in itself is already hard enough for people to, you know, to take and to take in, right? It does a lot of mental mind games to you, and you know, it hurts your heart, it hurts your feelings, it makes you, you know, rethink sometimes, you know, am I the problem? Am I doing something wrong? And you know, you want to start questioning who you are as a person and what you have to offer when it comes to like relationships and dating. And I'm telling you that if we could just be kind, if we could just be thoughtful, if we could just be considerate when we're, you know, trying to maybe let someone down, or we're trying to break up with them, or we're just letting them know we're not a good fit, we're not a good match. It's okay to be kind. And let me just say this, because I'm big on communication, you know, styles and preferences, right? You know, choose the style and the preference that you think works not only best for you, but best for the other person. So if that means, like in my case, because I can always talk about me no matter what, that I like to pick up the phone and talk to people, because I am not great with texting. I don't even like it that much. You know, I think it's great for like short little like, hey babe, how you doing kind of stuff, right? But it's not good for a deep ass conversation. And so to me, you feel comfortable with texting, that's you. Sometimes you got to think about the other person, and if the other person's communication preference is to talk about things, right? Then talk about things with them so that they feel comfortable that even if you're saying, I want to walk away from this, or I don't think this is working, or you're not the right fit for me, or, you know, this is just not working, so let's let this go. At least you can be considerate and thoughtful enough to the other person to tell them in a way that it works for them. You know, it's less painful, and if they have questions, if they want to talk about some things, then let them. Now, I believe, and this is just truly what I believe, unless someone is really like being mean and ugly and hateful to you and trying to intentionally hurt you, there's no reason to like ghost people and not say anything to people. You know, if you want to end something. Now, if you're on a dating app and you've been talking to somebody for 2 seconds, nobody cares. But if you've been talking to someone for like 2 or 3 weeks, you should say, look, it's been nice talking to you, but this is not working for me. I think we're not as compatible as I would like, or, you know, I'm looking for something different, whatever that is. And let me just say this too. Give people some real ass reasons. Like, if you don't want to be with me, give me some reasons. Tell me why. You know, if I've been talking to you, hanging out with you for, you know, a month, 2 months, whatever that is, and now all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I don't want to do this. No, give people real ass reasons as to why, you know, you don't think it's working. And let it be substantial. Don't have some bullshit, you know, I decided that, you know, I need to take a step back because this is not working for me. First of all, if you're in a relationship, whatever kind it is with someone, it's not all about you. It should be also about the other person. So if you're making decisions just based on what you want, first of all, that to me is one of the first problems, right? Why are you not talking to the other person like an adult and having a conversation with them about, is this working for us? Is there something we can do before you decide to reject them just because you want to take a step back for whatever reason, and then when you take a step back, if that's what you want to do, have concrete reasons and give people concrete information about why you're doing this, why you're choosing to make this decision. But my first thing, and it kind of like, I have to say it irritates me, please have conversations with people without just like making a decision on your own. Because like I said before, unless someone is intentionally hurting you or causing problems to you, there is no reason for you to just like, oh, I'm taking a step back without giving, the person the courtesy to at least tell them why. Tell them what's up, so that they know, and then decent conversation with them. Don't send them no goddamn text talking about, I need to take a step back. What does that mean? And that's not even kind or considerate, right? So please, my advice to you guys is that if rejection is already hard enough for us, right? We already have to deal with that mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Sometimes, we start questioning stuff within ourselves, within, who we are, how we live, whatever that is, right? Our beliefs. Rejection is hard enough without people not wanting to give us concrete reasons and at least have a decent conversation with us to say, look, I have enjoyed this, but I feel for me. Now, I want to know what you feel. And it's okay. I may feel differently from you. And it's okay if we both feel differently. But have a grown-ass conversation about that. And don't just decide, I'm going to I'll walk away from this. Because what that does for a person, it doesn't give them, an opportunity to, speak their piece, right? Ask their questions and have closure. And sometimes, and a lot of times, we need closure. We need to know that we've talked about this, we've agreed or disagreed, that this is how we're going to move forward. This is not, there's no path forward for the two of us in this relationship. We're not going to continue to see each other or date, or, not even that. I mean, are we going to have some type of connection? Are we going to have some type of contact? Are we going to have some type of relationship, even if it's just friendship? So, all of that to me should be part of a conversation, especially if you spend a little bit of time with somebody. Like I said, I always say that the best relationships start with friendship and end with friendship. And would you treat your friend like that? Would you just walk away from them if they haven't done anything horrible or wrong, or just because, you have disagreements or you have different conflict styles or whatever that is? Give the person an opportunity to have a real conversation with you so that they can speak their piece, you can speak your piece, and hopefully you can resolve and move forward in a very positive and uplifting way. Either, let's be friends or let's not be friends, but let's let it be cordial. Let's let it be kind and thoughtful.